In this video, we're going to take a look at standard 8.7c, which says use the Pythagorean theorem and its converse to solve problems. Specifically in this video, we're going to look at the converse. The first video for this standard looked at Pythagorean theorem, but now we're going to take a closer look at the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. Just a couple of notes is that the Pythagorean can only be applied to right triangles, and that we want to see students using their technology when solving problems with Pythagorean theorem. In the first video, I did review some vocabulary, and I'm just going to put that up here real quick, but I'm not going to discuss it. You can take a moment to pause the video if you would like to read through this vocabulary. Just a reminder that students are provided with a reference material sheet on the day of the STAR test, and on that reference material, under additional information, the students are provided with the formula for the Pythagorean theorem. And the same formula is used whether we're looking at the Pythagorean theorem or the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. So here's a released item from the 2016 STAR test for grade A. It says, which measurement could not represent the side lengths of a right triangle? So when we're looking at the converse, what we want to do is we want to test the Pythagorean to see whether it comes out as a true statement. If it comes out, the calculations come out the same. So we're going to look at answer choice A. And we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem, which a reminder is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And that c must be the longest side. So something that I would do first is look at the side lengths and make sure that you know which is your c. I'm going to go ahead and label the longest side in each of these answer choices. Just because they seem to be provided in ascending order doesn't mean that it will be provided like that on the day of the STAR test. So always look carefully to make sure you're labeling or you know what your longest side is. So let's look at answer choice A. For answer choice A, we're going to look and plug into the Pythagorean theorem. So we want to determine, does 6 squared plus 8 squared equal 10 squared? And I put a little question mark above the equals because we're not sure. We're going to have to solve both sides of the equation to see whether this is a true statement or not. So when we work through, 6 squared is 36 plus 8 squared is 64 equals, does that equal 10 squared? 10 squared is 100. Well, we go ahead and add 36 plus 64, and we're going to end up with 100 on both sides of the equation. So this is correct. This means that the legs of the Pythagorean, if we square and add them, they're going to equal the square of the hypotenuse. So this means these lengths do represent a right triangle. Let's look at answer choice B and do the same thing. Does 12 squared plus 35 squared equal 37 squared? I'm putting the question mark above our equal because we're not sure. We have to check it and verify. So working it out, 12 squared is 144 plus 35 squared is 1,225. Does that equal 37 squared, which is 1,369? We add 144, 1,225, and it does equal 1,369. So both sides of the equation are the same. So again, this is correct. It works in the Pythagorean, which means we do have a right triangle. So let's check answer choice C. Same process. Does 4 squared plus 6 squared equal 10 squared? Question mark again above our equals because we're not sure. We have to verify. 4 squared, 16, plus 6 squared is 36. Is that going to equal 10 squared, which is 100? Well, 16 plus 36 is 52, and 52 does not equal 100. So that tells us that these values do not work in the Pythagorean theorem, which means we don't have a right triangle. We got one more answer choice left, so let's just verify. Make sure we didn't make any other mistakes in our calculations. So for answer choice D, does 10 squared plus 24 squared equal 26 squared? So we're going to work this out. 10 squared is 100 plus 24 squared is 576. Does that equal 26 squared, which is 676? We go ahead and simplify the left side of the equation. 100 plus 576 is 676, which does equal 676. So that means we do have a right triangle. So the side links here that do not represent a right triangle are the side links in answer choice C, because they do not work in the Pythagorean theorem.